I want to ball with them on Thursday. If I'm still here. And yeah, man, I'm in a real good space right now. I'm at peace. Last week I came in here real positive. I'm still on that, man.
I want to ball with them on Thursday if I'm still here. What a strange thing to hear, but that's where we are right now in the National Football League. Jalen Ramsey wants out of Jacksonville, making no bones about it, and we'll see if he gets what he wants. But with each guy who gets what he wants, it underscores that today's NFL players have power that maybe they didn't have in the past, where the team would insist on everyone being treated the same way. I think we need to acknowledge that when you have a star player, maybe he does merit different treatment to ensure that he wants to be there, whether it's how much he makes, whether the rules that apply to everyone else apply to him, whatever the case may be.
Right.
It's incumbent on the team to manage the relationship in a way that the star player wants to stay, because if he doesn't, there's going to be somebody else who is willing to give up a first-round pick, 2 first-round picks, whatever it takes to get him.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're seeing that a lot, really, too. I mean, with teams not making their stars happy. I mean, we could talk about the Giants and Odell Beckham Jr. that way, too. But you're right, it's a new age in the NFL. And really, Mike, these star players, at least, they've always had this power. I think they've just kind of realized how to take advantage of it and use it to their benefit. And I think finally some of these star players have realized with social media and everything, guys are fans and people, the media, they're going to hate me no matter what sometimes. So why not just force things the way I want them and go to a place where I'm going to be happy at and then just deal with the criticism that way. But I mean, the guys, Antonio Brown certainly started a new trend, like a whole new power play. But, to me, it starts Von Miller, Aaron Donald, the way they handled their franchise negotiations and all that.
Hey, Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack too,
was the
exactly
first.
Right.
The Raiders didn't want to pay him, right? They get the guy in the top 5 of the draft. The idea is try to find Hall of Fame players with those draft picks. When you get him, you cling to him. The Raiders mishandled the negotiations and got themselves backed into a corner. And the day after Aaron Donald got a record-setting contract for defensive players, that's when the Bears swooped in, paid Khalil Mack even more, and happily gave up 2 first-round draft picks, which tells you the value of a transcendent talent. And the teams that get these guys have to figure out how to make it work. You got to pay them. You got to make them happy. And if you fail in those 2 respects, they're going to want to play for someone else, and there will be someone else out there who says, bring him on.
Yeah.
We'll give you first-round picks because we use those first-round picks precisely to get guys like this.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. There's going to be a market for those type of players. They're just too special. I mean, even with Antonio Brown, I know the Patriots didn't know everything. They had some curveballs, but there they were. I mean, Antonio Brown's been a mess for a while here, but the talent on the field, and they feel like, okay, well, it's worth the risk, and we got the culture that can then take a guy like Antonio Brown in. But the market is it is real for those superstar players. And, I think one of the things that I always hear, and I even had some people text me yesterday, like, as far as, like, why do fans in the NFL get so mad at the players when the players have this type of power? And then you look at things like the NBA and sports like that, where it's not the fans aren't as critical on players as they are about, a Jalen Ramsey requesting a trade or, anybody else out there. What is your thought to that? Why?
I think with NBA players, I think the fans have just accepted the fact that if you are a fan of the Bulls or the Cavaliers or the Heat or whoever, you're just kind of temporarily renting the guy anyway.
Yeah.
And I also think NBA fans, plenty of them follow the player.
Right.
So I'm not a Cavs fan. I'm a LeBron James fan.
Yeah,
so wherever
right.
LeBron James is, that's my team.
Yep.
So I think that's why the guys get less criticism. It's more individualized. With the NFL level, the fans are zealous about their team, and how dare you disrupt this good feeling I have about my team by wanting out? I think that's the fundamental difference.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Right. I mean, you're loyal to that, purple helmet and that whatever the hell that thing is on the side of their helmet. You're loyal to that through and through. Yes. I mean, you'll talk some crap about their players, a.k.a. Kirk Cousins, but you're still loyal to that brand and that team.
I used to be. I hate everybody equally now.
Yeah, sure you do. Okay, whatever you say, Slugger. But I do like this. It's going to make for things crazy. It's going to make our job more fun. but it is a business, and the players have become businessmen more than ever the last 2 years in the NFL to really realize the avenues they have to take advantage of the system and give themselves some power here.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And look, I go to Antonio Brown, and I still it appears that the player wanted out and got out, right?
Yeah.
Both of Pittsburgh and of Oakland. But I feel like, especially in Pittsburgh, they wanted him out, but they didn't feel compelled to make it known that they wanted him out, right? They were happy to get rid of him. They were happy to unload him. They were at the point where they had enough. And the Steelers, I believe, were willing to do whatever it had to do. They had to do to make Antonio Brown happy. Look at how many times they tweaked his contract.
Yes, right.
Look at all the things we found out about afterward, about
Right.
him being chronically late and having his own place at training camp off campus and not staying in the dorm with his teammates. They had different rules for him. They did coddle him until they got to the point where they decided they had enough. And I really do think that it was more mutual than it was characterized as. But the problem is it feeds this narrative that players, if they want out, can get out.
Yes. No, it does. And, with Antonio Brown, they've been doing all the things. You're right that you've been saying. You got to make the star player happy. You got to appease to him. They were. But Antonio Brown just kept taking and taking and taking and kept moving that line to where, yes, Pittsburgh finally was like, the hell with it. But, between Antonio Brown and then Ezekiel Elliott really drawing a line in the sand 2 years before he's supposed to become a free agent. I mean, I think those are two players we look at right now that have changed the game and the landscape ultimately for the NFL.
And here's the caveat. At some point, the player's talent no longer justifies it, and that's when he is gone.
Right.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.